Hi, and welcome to Hoffman's Hot Seat, coming to you from the Gartner Customer 360 Summit here in Los Angeles. I'm Tom Hoffman with One-to-One Media, and joining me today is Sid Banerjee, the CEO and co-founder of Clarabridge. Today, Sid and I will be talking about the benefits of drawing upon customer inputs from across the enterprise. And Sid, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
So, Sid, what are some of the benefits that companies can derive from drawing upon, say, voice of the customer data, text analytics, social media interactions, and also operational data as well?
Tom, we found that there are actually 3 or 4 very interesting use cases of customer feedback data coming from a variety of different sources that are used to a variety of end users within organizations. First, on the sourcing side, historically, people have looked at structured data to understand things like sales trends, operations trends, market research trends. But unstructured data is really powerful because it contains intentional information, what people intend to do. It contains emotional data, which tends to predict things like loyalty and profitability and churn. And it also contains very actionable information about products and services that can either be fixed or improved. But that data is in a variety of different places. It's in social media, it's in survey feedback, it's in the notes and call centers. So the benefits of using text analytics and sentiment analytics against that data with a platform like Clarabridge is we can connect to all the sources, we can bring them into a single repository, we can extract the insights using a variety of algorithms and techniques like sentiment analytics and text analytics, and we can serve up information in a way that's efficient, so that instead of spending hours and days and even months reading and interpreting feedback, we can create actionable intelligence that helps them make better decisions on the product, the service, and the operations side.
Okay, great. And I would imagine, too, it also helps to cut through organizational barriers that might exist, or like separate databases and different functions and so forth.
Absolutely true. It's not uncommon without a text analytics solution that's really directed at enterprise feedback across all those sources for the social media guys to just look at social media data, and the survey analytics people just to look at survey data, and the operations folks in the call center to just look at information from the call center. But the reality is your customer's everywhere, and he's providing information in all those channels that can be useful to all the different departments in an organization. So pulling the data into a central place and then distributing it out to all the users creates much more value from that information.
Okay, great. So with that said, what are some of the benefits that companies can draw by applying a cloud-based approach to gathering all this information?
Yeah, it's been an interesting development in the software space over the last 3 to 5 years, how actively companies have embraced the cloud, and we're seeing that also in text and sentiment analytics. Two benefits. The first is, if you think about a lot of the content that contains rich qualitative feedback, it's actually not owned by the companies themselves. It's housed with survey vendors, with social media vendors, with community vendors, and they're already in the cloud. So it makes more sense if the data starts in the cloud to keep it in the cloud and to do text analytics using a cloud offering. And Clarabridge runs in the cloud as well. The other benefit is that it's not uncommon for the initial people really with interest in using text analytics to not be IT people, and being able to rely on something that's hosted that isn't going to need to be deployed and maintained by an internal IT function gets them a much faster time to value. So implementations of text analytics against data can be done in weeks, not months or years, and it is a much more responsive way to develop these solutions for creators.
Sure. So can you also point to examples of companies that are doing a good job of meshing this information together, and maybe talk a little bit about some of the business benefits they've drawn from that?
Sure. I think the common thread across most companies that are getting real value from customer experience and sentiment analytics tend to be those who have many consumers really generating information on many different, what I call listening posts across various online and offline feedback environments, and who have the need to be able to act quickly, right? So a company that wants to fix a problem before it explodes into a high-cost issue, or a customer that's coming out with new products and services all the time and wants to make sure that they're being responsive to customer feedback. In the retail space, for instance, we work with companies that sell products, electronic products like Best Buy. And in the case of Best Buy, their use case is that data comes in from call centers, from surveys, from social media and review sites, and they use that information to manage their relationship with their vendors better. If they have a problem with a product, they can quickly respond and say, fix the product. If they have issues inside the call center, they can detect spiking or alerted conditions that indicate that a call center rep needs to be trained or sort of managed through a process to be more responsive and more efficient. And they also use it to track even things like how well they're providing customer support during heavy traffic periods, like the Black Friday shopping period, which is, as you know, critical for most retailers.
Sure.
In the hotel business, companies like Marriott use it to continually monitor feedback from customer service surveys that are continually coming in. Companies like United Airlines use it to track social media feedback and also passenger feedback when they fill out surveys. And you're seeing a lot more activity across a lot of other industries, in the banking industry and the consumer goods industries as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Sid, thanks so much for taking some time out with us today.
Thank you very much.